Hi, welcome viewers to my channel. Now my channel deals with life and it deals with death, and today I'm going to, in a way, kind of connect the two, because I'm going to look at two completely different scenarios, but as the scenarios are the same in the sense that you have to have similar survival mechanisms. Sorry for that tongue-tied mechanisms. And the first scenario is that you just decided yourself that you want to go bush. As we Australians say, you've had enough of society and go bush. Well, what I'm saying is, in these two scenarios, so the first one is you're going to go bush, and the second one is there's been an accident, maybe there's a shipwreck, planes come down, or you've got lost walking in the bush. Whatever the situation, you've ended up in the wild. So the first situation is you are deliberately going to go off the grid, and the second situation is you've accidentally gone off the grid. So let's look at the situation. So let's say you were going to live off the grid for a month. Living off the grid for a month in a natural environment can be a rewarding experience, but it requires careful preparation. Here are 10 essential items and some advice for novices. The essential items. Number 1, shelter. A lightweight tent or tarp for protection from the elements. Number 2, water filtration. A portable water filter or purification tablets to ensure a clean water source. Number 3, fire starting tools. Waterproof matches, a reliable lighter and fire starter material. Number 4, a multi-tool. A versatile tool with various functions like cutting, opening cans, and more. Number 5, a first aid kit. A well-stocked kit for basic medical emergencies. Number 6, cooking equipment. A compact camping stove or a pot for cooking food. Number 7, navigation tools. A map, compass, or GPS device to prevent getting lost. Number 8, clothing. Durable clothing suitable for the environment's weather conditions. Number 9, sleeping bag. A suitable sleeping bag rated for the anticipated temperatures. Number 10, food. Non-perishable, nutrient-dense food items like dried fruits, nuts, and energy bars. Now let's look at advice for novices. Number 1, research the area. Learn about the environment, weather patterns, wildlife, and any potential hazards in the area you plan to visit. Number 2, practice basic skills. Learn essential skills like starting a fire, building a shelter, and finding clean water before your trip. Number 3, pack light. Only bring essential items to avoid unnecessary weight. Number 4, and a big one, respect nature. Leave no trace by practicing proper waste disposal and minimizing impact on the environment. Number 5, stay hydrated. Ensure a steady supply of clean water to avoid dehydration. Number 6, know your limits. Be realistic about your physical fitness and capabilities. Don't take unnecessary risks. I say, when in doubt, leave it out. Number 7, notify someone. Inform a trusted person about your plans and expected return date. Number 8, stay calm. In unfamiliar situations, staying calm is crucial for making rational decisions. Number 9, wildlife awareness. Learn about the local wildlife and how to avoid encounters or respond to them. Number 10, stay positive. Embrace the experience with an open mind. Living off the grid can be challenging but incredibly rewarding. Now, the second scenario where it's been an accident, so you haven't deliberately gone to want to live off the grid, but suddenly you find yourself that's what's happened. So, survival tips for getting stranded. In a survival situation where you're stranded without any supplies, remember these 10 survival tips. Number 1, prioritize shelter. Find or build a shelter to protect yourself from the elements. Number 2, water collection. Look for sources of water and improvise containers to collect and store it. Sometimes, for example, if you get washed up on a tropical beach, it's amazing the amount of rubbish that every year gets washed up on a tropical beach. You can find fish nets, you can find containers to carry your water, and all sorts of goodies that man has polluted that now becomes your treasure. But let's get on to survival tips for getting stranded. Number 3, signal for help. Use signals like reflective materials, sound, or smoke to attract attention. Number 4, gather food. Learn about edible plants, insects, and small animals in the area for sustenance. So, in other words, if you are planning to, go by yourself, say for a bike ride, and you get lost in the bush, or you go for a camping trip, or even a small, aeroplane, because airplanes can come down, or a small boat trip. Know where you are going. Always tell people where you're going and learn about the area. I would always, just in case I went for a camping trip, even whether it's planned or I found myself in a situation, you always know beforehand that you're going to be there, and it just so accidentally happens that you get stranded. So learn before you go there. Get a book, always a book about what you can eat. In Australia, we have bush tucker that you can eat. So maybe do a course with an Aborigine in Australia on bush tucker. It's always handy because you never know. What will happen one day? We're talking here, about situations of getting stranded. But say civilization goes to shit. This may be quite handy. Anyway, Number 4, I said gather food. Learn about edible plants, insects, and small animals in the area for sustenance. I also want to warn you that nature teaches you things. The very bright colours usually are poisonous. You'll notice like red and black snakes, red, black berries, and there's also a danger on tropical islands of what looks like a little apple, and one of these little apples will kill 20 men. So when in doubt, leave it at. Okay, number 5, fire for warmth. Start a fire for warmth, cooking and signaling rescue teams. Number 6, navigation. Stay oriented by using landmarks, the sun, stars, or a compass. One of the worst things to do too is, for example, in Australia, if you are in a car and you're in the outback and suddenly your car breaks down, do not wander away from your car. Your car is the best chance of survival. How many people have got lost and died by just going round and round in circles? Fortunately, there's been a lot of people who've also been saved because Aborigines have really good tracking skills, but you can't rely on that. And sometimes when there's no water source, we have to filter our own urine, and urine will keep you alive. I often have turned my nose up at Bear Grylls, but the more you watch things like Bear Grylls and survival skills, the more you are ready. But let's continue. Number 7 is stay positive. Maintain a positive mindset to improve your chances of survival. Number 8, conservation of energy. Rest and conserve energy to avoid exhaustion. Number 9, avoid unsafe water. If water sources are questionable, prioritize purification methods. Now, one way is getting a dirty sock. So you filter the water through dirty sock and then boil it. I would always try to boil my water. Stagnant ponds, other animals, other creatures come and drink out of stagnant ponds, and they do more than just that. That stagnant pond is full of yuckies, and you could get dysentery, you could die. So if all else fails, urine. Okay, number 10, stay visible. Use brightly colored clothing or makeshift markers to enhance visibility for search teams. But remember, wherever you get lost, don't stray. Your best chances of survival are staying put. So in other words, your plane goes down, that's where the people are going to be looking for the plane. But if you've gone wandering off, they don't know which way you've gone. If your boat sinks and you get washed up on the beach, your best chance is being on the beach. Never drink salt water. That sends you mad. Okay, remember, survival situations are challenging and every situation is unique. Prioritize safety, use your instincts, and stay focused on doing what's necessary to increase your chances of survival. Now, there are so many scenarios and I can't cover every topic. You could be on a boat, a little, dinghy, little tinny, as we call them in Australia, and run out of fuel and you just start drifting and you don't have enough bottles of water. Now the body needs at least a couple of litres of water a day. So what I would do is pray for water. But people can get so delirious on a boat that the sea water looks inviting, and many people have drunk seawater and died because they've started hallucinating and seeing, because you just see all around you is water and your thirst is so great, all you're going to drink is the seawater. So whenever you go somewhere, plan ahead, plan that maybe the worst may happen, so because it could. And these are important skills. I kick myself because I don't go much. It's very unlikely for me to end up in this situation. Having said that, fingers crossed, I'm going to Bali at the end of September, gone for 10 days. Now my plane could come down and I'm stuffed. All right, not that it's likely. I'm more likely to die walking out, being hit by a bus across the road than a plane coming down. So I don't mean to get fear into you. I'm just trying to be realistic, because we take things for granted. It's easy to go to the supermarket. There's your meat, all nice wrapped up, You haven't seen how it's been butchered. There's your can of food. There's your water bottle. There's your soft drink. There's sugar. And we don't realize. We just take everything for granted. We don't realize what we lost until we've lost it. And apparently in Australia, I've been wanting to for ages learn bush tucker. And I did have a book, but I've given it to my son, and hopefully he has read it, because he wants to go out on his e-bike, and I'm a bit stressed because he wants to go in the Diagolo Ranges and just go off. He said to his flatmate, just leave me. And she said, but you don't have a GPS, you don't have a compass. He said, what's the worst can happen? I'll fall off the edge. Well, that nonchalant attitude doesn't work, because there are people who love you, okay? People, so you think you're not going to be missed? You will be missed. So always, whether you are going to go off the grid or not, tell someone your plans, so that if the worst case scenario happens, in either scenario I've given you, that you've deliberately gone to live off the grid, or an accident, a disaster has occurred, people know where you were last were. Okay? Thank you very much. I mean, a mobile's no good where there's no coverage. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you were a little educated. Having said that, it's like me, the blind leading the blind. All right, cherish every moment, love the best you can. Tomorrow I've got voluntary work, so I don't think you'll get a video from me except my nightly paranormal videos. I love you guys and really do appreciate every view I get. All right, this video's done. Goodbye. Have fun.